You all are listening to me. That is good. So here we found Stephen. Namaste. So, I have to open this. I have stop. Yeah, record. Christina is here. Good. So we have been following and understanding the processes and the steps that we have to undertake to discover the inner treasures, where we keep our treasures in a safe box. So we have a safety and we keep those inner treasures, and we keep those inner treasures. So whenever we need it, we open it. That is what is when we use the word treasure. What if I explain to you that you have a key to open these treasures based on the steps we have done, and that we can do it with a metaphor, with a story. So you have to pay attention. But first thing first, Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Devu Deva. You are my parents. So every day, how much time it takes, but not only reciting and chanting, but we have to reflect. We have to become aware that who are my real parents, who are my real friends and the sibling, who is the knowledge ultimately. You are my knowledge. That is the message it gives. And you are the God of all the goddesses. How much time it takes? You keep on doing it, and the time comes. You keep on doing it, and the time comes, your mind is clear, it has set the value, and throughout the day, you will find that everything is clear in your life. So it means we have awakened to that treasure inside. Tvameva Mata Chapita. So now open your eyes. So, yeah, let me change the name. There was a Michael and Michelle. They have been dating for years together. And then they decided to marry. You're paying attention. I'm explaining the last 10 sessions. How? Through a metaphor. So wedding this young Michelle and Michael was a grand affair, bustling with 1,000 guests and enough marigolds to choke a small elephant. the joyful chaos, one fellow stood out. He was everywhere, greeting the guest from the Michelle side and greeting the guest from the Michael side. He was extremely enthusiastic. He gave a hug to everyone, the relations, the guest from Michelle's side, the guest from the Michael side. Even he was helping other guests. He beamed, he gestured, he orchestrated. It was almost like a one-man hospitality army. What a helpful chap, whispered the guest. All the guests were looking at him. Must be a close relative. Because every guest thought that, if you are greeting the guest from the Michelle side, so they thought that he must be from the Michael side. And welcoming the guest of the Michael, oh, the thing, okay, must be related to the Michelle. As the last guests finally trickled, leaving behind a delightful mess of confetti and half-eaten sweets, Michelle turned to Michael, a puzzled frown seizing her brows. Honey, she asked, that incredibly energetic man, the one who practically ran the whole wedding, is he from your side of the family? Climax is coming. Michael scratched his head, bewildered look. Funny, I was about to ask you the same thing. I thought he was your long lost, maybe cousin. They looked at each other. They looked at their parents. No one knew him. Not a single person could place him. Climax. Just outside the reception hall, that helpful chap had been discreetly listening. A flicker of something, maybe embarrassment, maybe just a mischievous glint. Before anyone could actually ask him, he simply evaporated. Who was that guy? One moment he was there, patting everyone. The next moment he is gone. Who is that guy? That guy is our false I. We have been dating with the pain and the pleasure. We have been dating with a new event, expected new event, Christmas Eve, birthday, marriage anniversary. We don't celebrate divorce anniversary. I don't know why. So that is the ego. That helpful chap is everywhere, taking charge, making himself indispensable, and drawing attention. That is what we do every day in our life. This mirrors how the ego infiltrates every aspect of our life. Hi, Heavenly Pin. I have had it. Today I'm not interested in giving a lesson. Sorry, I send an email. I send an email. Infiltrates every aspect. I will not attend this session. Infiltrates, often subtly, sometimes guiding our actions, reactions, perceptions. It is like the inner voice that says, I did that, I know the best, look at me. And it was the marriage celebration, it was an event. So the false I always seeks external validation and pleasure. One guy told me, you don't know how much I'm suffering. And the other guy says, today is my anniversary. All the last 10 sessions, the ego thrives on fanfares, excitement, reaction, obsession, craving. It constantly seeks an external validation in pleasure or also in pain, also in responsibility, also dropping that responsibility. Why? Ego has an illusion of ownership. The moment it has an ownership, I become a limited being, I fall into ignorance. And everyone assumes the guy belongs to their side, just as we identify so strongly with our ego that we believe it is us. But but this is the ego's fleeting nature. Once that falsi, that chap, that guy leaves, what is left? 6 treasures. When you open the safe, the treasure is always there. So in the last 10 sessions, I explained you how the key is to be made and how to open it. When the dominant influence of ego subsides, the path opens to the genuine inner riches and freedom from self-imposed bondage, because ego thrives on external validation, event, fanfare, excitement, reaction, possessions, and long list. Nothing is there now. So when nothing is there, the 6 treasures you have already opened. Sama, Dhamma, calmness of the mind and the senses, uparati, cessation, almost a sense of dispassion, titiksha, forbearance and endurance, faith, conviction, samadhana, you have a solution of this. So it means all those 6 enemies comes along with this false I. Answer is yes. I'm seeking something outside. That I is false I. Real I has to seek nothing. So 6 enemies: desire, hesitation, repeat desire, delusion, pride, and the jealousy. We never inquire that how come the ego has become a self-appointed manager of our lives. That self-manager says, I have lot of problem you don't understand. I have lot of pleasure Now I am very happy. I cannot go along with this guy. I can go along with this guy. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Yeah, it creates a never-ending cycle of fanfares, excitements, craving, reactions. Oh, I'm fully busy. I'm fully busy. I'll give you $20,000 for 1 minute if you reach to me. It takes 1 hour to reach to me. Ego says external validation. Oh, I'm not busy. I can come. Whatever I want. Forget about 10 or $20,000. Just contemplate and reflect that what is the most exciting thing in your life from outside world. You will never be busy, I can guarantee you. I told this guy, this is your third breakup. You negotiated so much with me to pay me for a weekly session. Did you negotiate with that cute and beautiful girl that we will only go to this restaurant? Only this much I will pay? I told you I was very tough. This diligent manager is ultimately an illusion. It has no true identity. It does not have a lasting presence. In deep sleep, it is absent. The moment we pause and directly question its reality, you are the higher level of a seeker, you question its validity, it is gone. It disappears. That is why the Michael and the Michelle started talking. Who is this guy? He heard it, gone. Master says conscious thinking instead of a lack of thinking. Lack of thinking is ignorance. So when you start thinking, oh, what the heck you are seeking after all? Why? How? You're seeking a validation. You have tried many times. Pleasure outside. It was not there. Why you are seeking again? That is the part of the contemplation and reflection. These treasures are not found by catering the ego demands for external validation. I cannot do anything. I have an extreme headache. That is also ego. You show up, you're well. That is also an ego. I thought, where the I thought is engaged. If you look closely, all the 10 steps of sadhana panchakam, you look at the value set, you look at the knowledge that you receive from the teacher coming from the text, you understand your own inner working of this mind which creates a false I. It is here and now. It is no, it is absent. It is present, it is absent. It is present, it is absent. It escapes, it returns. It escapes, it returns. But the moment you question the validity of each event in your life, coming from this false I, your questioning helps you to discern, and that very discernment sublimates you will not be able to find it. When you don't find it, the inner treasures are already there. You have opened it. You have opened it. If you look at it, the first step, where is the first study Eastern wisdom to study yourself? Then you go back to the second step is the doer. The false I claims that I'm the doer and the enjoyer. And when you recognize, come on, you are the doer because you are seeking an external validation. You see, you don't realize the defects in the external world. You are chasing the same thing again and again and again. You are caught by the binding desire. You, that you, who disappeared instantly the moment Michael and the Michelle started talking. Who is he? Our master says that when you are at a higher level, higher seeker, you question. I'm upset. Why? How? Where? When? No, I'm celebrating my birthday. I'm excited. Come on, what is excitement? You have decreased your lifespan for a year. And you're celebrating. Oh, that painful memories. That is why I don't want to celebrate my divorce anniversary. Guest on both the sides. Ego entertains the guest from both the sides. It entertains pain, it entertains pleasure, it entertains attachment, it entertains detachment. I hate you, so I entertain detachment with you. Understand clearly. You have to contemplate and reflect daily until you get a sense of this, you question it and it is gone. It has opened the gateway to the six treasures. One master talks in this way. It is not from this text, but I wanted to give you a glimpse of it. If you think that for the last 10 sessions I gave you a lot of principles, yes, I should understand the very process. So once we understand the very process, we can get hold of the main culprit. It is nothing but the conscious contemplation and reflection, my friend. There is nothing in it. There is nothing in it. Yes, now throw some light on this aspect, what you have understood, contemplation and reflection. Anyone can take the lead.
I'll go. I really like the concept of
We don't hear you, David. I thought that you're speaking.
Interesting. Can you not hear me?
David, I hear you.
Okay. What happened? Hello.
Test.
Yes, now I hear you.
Okay, good. I like the concept of conscious thinking, and it's kind of we can look at our mindset as a mode we're in, and if we're in a delusional mode or what have you, we need to immediately identify it and get into a conscious thinking mode. That's my big takeaway from today, and I
Yes.
wrote it down and highlighted that. So the conscious thinking allows us to have that freedom and get rid of the chains and the barriers and so on. So thank you.
Yes, yes, conscious thinking. Lack of thinking is ignorance that causes the delusion, that causes the suffering. What should I do? I haven't had it. How many times you have had it? Maybe 1,000 times until today. So can't you think consciously? Yes, I can think consciously. So when I think consciously, I separate headache from me. All side identifies with the headache, identifies with the problem. You are talking, you are well to do now. I have lot of problems. Dennis, you want to say something?
My summary of today's session and story is that ego is a product of ignorance, and ego is born when we believe our limited perception without questioning it unconsciously. And ego thrives on this lack of knowledge that we have, so to say. And ego fears knowledge because knowledge reveals its non-existence. Ego only seems to exist, it seems to function, but when we question its existence, it disappears.
Yes, the moment it disappears, live into that state and see what happened. What happened in a few seconds? You rightly said that ego fears the wisdom and the knowledge. Knowledge is the death of the ego. Wisdom, Eastern wisdom. And it can happen anytime, in any situation. Ashok is thinking because he's keeping his hand on the head. I will ask him later. Yes, Stephen.
Thank you, sir. I like this simplicity of the Eastern wisdom, and always reminding myself about the basic fundamentals. Always go back to the listening and learning and so on and so forth. And I've over the last since we started talking about the inner treasures, been focused in on the simplicity of it and trying to break it up more so. And what I've realized is that it comes down to the real self and the false I. And within the real self, it's you're never upset. You're on this even keel. That's where the listening, learning, contemplation, reflection, and the practice comes into play. And what I've realized is the false I is triggered more times than any from outside, not within. So the focus has to be within 24/7.
Yes.
And that's the challenge. So again, trying to simplify it and slow it down, talking today about the ego. Today's lesson just validated everything I've been thinking about over the last several weeks. Because it's when you're outside and you're looking for, you have an expectation of others, you have reaction to others. It's now going back to the principles that get you into that quiet, even keel of that's not me. You're engaging my ego. You're what you're saying, and I'm allowing that to happen. So I have to pull back and bring it back inside because inside I'm quiet. It's almost like you want to talk about a metaphor. It's like a duck on the pond, right? Really calm on the surface, but underneath feet are going 100 miles an hour. And I'm understanding how the outside is influencing my inside. I'm trying to break that down a little bit more and be aware of that. And this whole inner treasure thing, that's the only way it's going to get released, is when I'm able to shut off what bothers from the outside. So thanks.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. You know, that is why, because if I had not explained the previous steps in the last 10 sessions, you will not understand. Why? Because it is very difficult to retrieve my steps, because the false side pressures too much. Excitement and reaction and validation. Yesterday, my son texted me Happy Father's Day. And the daughter sent me the card a couple of days ago. Now you see. And I said, oh, today is Father's Day. I was listening on the TV also. But the false eye gathers these informations and stick to it. And then it is seeking a validation of, because I will seek the validation only if I have something within me pertaining to the world outside. So spontaneously, oh my goodness, I didn't know today is the Father's Day. I send the message. Every day is Father's Day. You are my father, you are my mother. How are you? How are you, Christina?
Thank you. The metaphor was really good because I actually thought it was going to go a different way.
What way?
And so that I thought the guy was going to be the real I. And so can see how I get still wrapped up in overdoing or, overstepping or all of those qualities.
Oh my goodness, you thought that it is the real I. The real I cannot disappear. Yes, it is the false I that seeks the validation in my relationship. That is why I am upset. So I think consciously, I'm seeking a validation. No, leave it. It is extremely difficult if we don't know the entire mechanism inside. What is going on in the mind? That is why I gave you value set and knowledge and mind and emotions and feeling and 6 enemies. And ultimately we say, oh, only this is the problem. Yes, Samir, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. One thing I means I always feel that outside problems are not in your hands, but you want to become upset with those problems is 100% in your hands. Means whether you want to become upset with those problems, that is in your hands, and the problem is not in your hands. Okay. And if you attach your false I that I am responsible or I will take care of problem and I have done this, means if you attach yourself with those problems, then you become more upset. And if you detach with those problems and stay apart, and then, and one thing very means it always means I always think about this thing, that if I am not attached with those problems, then I have less problems in my life. Means less problems are created in my life when I am not attached with those problems. And when I am attached, then I create more problems for myself. Means in outside world also.
Yes,
Because
you are.
somebody says something and I keep quiet, then problem is over at that moment only. And if I react, and then the more problem is created and it becomes very big unnecessarily. So that is always there. This is what I feel in day-to-day life.
Beautiful. Event is event. My perception plus projection. Now this event is a problem. This is the first thing. Now that event is a problem, this helping guy doesn't stop there. It says, I have a problem. Do you see that? Do you see it clearly? If I see it clearly, then what is left? Then what is left at the physical level? What needs to be done? Let me do it and finish it. How dare you say, how dare you say that I'm crazy? Okay, then I see that craziness is simply a word. How that alphabets can affect me? I throw all the alphabets A to G to you. Does it create a problem? Conscious thinking is required. Weber beautifully said.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I have a question, right? Like this ego, it's kind of projection of my own self. Is it like that? That is my own projection, the way I see it, my objective self. Is it that? And is it like it that connects to the events that is happening outside?
Yes, that false I means that it is always moves outside. It seeks a validation. It seeks the pleasure outside. It is concerned about the pain, and it is constantly seeking validation from outside. That is how we recognize it is false I. Did I answer your question? So it's
I still need to
it,
contemplate on that.
huh?
I still need to like think
Yeah,
on that.
contemplate on that. Yes, yes, yes. So look at it. The moment you remember this story, you have to remember all the steps that we covered in the last 10 sessions. So when you pick up each one consciously, you think, oh, where is the problem? Where is the problem? Now I project myself example. I'm living a very simple example. Why I have a gray beard, this is not good. Who is saying this? Inquire. So I'm unconscious, habitual, impulsive. In that impulsive nature, one I, this false I are in trillions. One false I says that having a black beard would be good. You look smart. The second I, second false I, it is the same I. It has changed its colors. But because you have a gray hair, the third eye says what it takes. Fourth eye, put some spices into it. Oh, that guy told me that you look very wise. Well, oh, now there is the sixth eye creates a conflict. When you think consciously, they all disappear. They all disappear. What I am. Finished. Done. Otherwise, what will happen? You said me this thing and you said me this thing. In our relationship, I have this, I don't have this. I'm good to this guy, I'm bad to that guy. We always talk. That is our party. That is what I explained to you through the metaphor. Every time, welcoming, I welcome pain, I welcome pleasure. When I'm criticizing someone, still I'm welcoming. Do you understand? I'm welcoming in my mind. I'm not escaping from that. That is the problem. And then now from following session, we will delve deeply into what exactly is the first treasure, what, why, how, what steps are required to discover that. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. Please position in the posture. Consciously, you are aware of the place, consciously position, consciously you are aware of the posture. Then you have not to hold the body. The body is being held in the field of awareness. I am again explaining. I told you, whatever we discuss, I convert that into a practice, even if we have the same steps. Being comfortable. So you are settled in the comfort. You don't want to become comfortable. Why? You are aware, false eye. You need not to come here to make me comfortable. Are you getting it? Yes. Secondary issue that, okay, let us experience sensation in the body, and that validates the comfort and the steadiness, because I need not to move the body during the practice. When I'm comfortable, I need not to move. Being carefree. Being carefree means free from all the cares the ego does, the false I does. False I, do you want something? You are becoming conscious. You are becoming aware, my friend. Conscious thinking or conscious contemplation. Otherwise, if you follow Hatha Yoga, even after 50 years, you cannot be steady. Why? The false I is deeply attached to the body. The first outermost level, the first neighbor is the world as it is. I'm not attached to the world means that I do not project for seeking something in any event, in any relationship, in any object. That is why we are aware of the first neighbor from outside. Second neighbor is the body. So impulsively, because of your past impression, because of your habit, if you are deeply attached to the body will still be causing you the problem. No, body is causing the problem or I. Conscious, I'm not the body. And then the third neighbor is the life force, energy. I'm weak, I'm strong. You see, I am weak, I am strong. Come on, you have no energy today. You feel hungry. No, I feel very weak. Do you see this thought process? If you see this thought process, you're always happy. Why? The six treasures are their end. Fourth is the mind. Mind. Pain, pleasure, okay. Problem and the solution. Problem and the solution. How many problems we have solved, how many solutions we got, how many problems are unattended. You know what I say unattended? I gave a new phrase to the modern medical science. Oh, this disease is a silent killer. It is not a silent killer. It is a being I unattend. I do not attend. Fourth is the strong likes and dislikes, and here lives our false I. It lives in the intellect. Intellect is our instrument of knowledge. And the sixth one is the ignorance. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. When you follow the six neighbors, reflecting it, You are preparing the mind to make this guy, so-called helpful guy, to disappear. And the final jolt you gave, kick to the Sarvesham Swastir. It's all about the conscious thinking. My master used to say alertness and awareness is meditation. That is all. But with reference to all the falsi. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. May there be completeness and all. I said all these mantras once only because conscious thinking absorbs the very essence of it. May there be completeness for all. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. You have learned in last 10 sessions, if your mind recalls these sentences, these phrases will not remain as an intellectual and a dry phrases because it is supported by clear understanding of cause and effect. And now looking deep inside the forehead in the space, it becomes an easy, casual affair to you. And looking deep inside the forehead in the space, start breathing long, deep, and hissing through the nostrils into your belly. Deep, long, in the hissing breath. Today is the belly breathing. You expand your belly. You squeeze your belly. It is a long and hissing breath. Continue. Continue breathing in the state of comfort, being carefree. You are aware and attentive to the place, position, and the posture. So we find there's something new entity, new presence is there. Even if the falsi is not there, there is something, some presence is there. Continue breathing long, deep, and the hissing breath in the state of the stillness in the body. in the state of and now leave it, watch the flow of the breath. The breath returns to its normal patterns. Watch, feel whether the flow of the breath is equal or not. In both the cases, you are maintaining your awareness. You pay attention to the flow of the breath. This is another area where we all have to work. So when you follow the audio practice and you reach here, and you just continue to return your awareness on the flow of the breath, and maybe for another 15 minutes and half an hour for a couple of weeks, you will discover the flow becomes equal, and then experience what happens in that state. And now dropping Om Shanti on the 16 segments of the fingers. Again, that is also very subtle. You remember, all the senses are working through the mind, in the mind. It is not going outside. It means the mind is not going outside. So it means what? Can you figure out? There is no projection. Perception, projection, delusion, identification, false I. This is how it works. So you don't allow the senses to touch, to feel. Your conscious mind is feeling. Where? In the mind itself. On the way to project happiness or pain onto some event, some person or relationship, on the way, it creates not only a projection seeking validation, happiness in the world outside. On the way it is there, and then it imposes that projection. That then the event becomes stressful, then the event becomes a moment of pleasure. That is why we continue to do it. We are dropping Om Shanti on the 16 segments of your fingers, and we ask the mind, now why don't you feel it? And you will feel it. So when you feel it is because of the energy, the prana, movement of the prana along with the mind. And people have created some practices of Reiki, or what we say the pranic healing. There we are not going. You simply continue to drop the mantra Om Shanti. That will be more powerful than any practice of Reiki or pranic healing. And now Leave the step, move the mind inside the heart, visualize the triangle. Equilateral triangle of any color, moving the mind on the side of a triangle, dropping Om Shanti. Just Om Shanti in a flick of a second, millisecond Om Shanti. Om Shanti, moving the mind clockwise anti-clockwise. It becomes an easy affair for you when you do the previous two steps. When you find this thing, push the mind deep inside the cave of your heart, singing mentally. Mind seems to stop. Shanti. And after that, you do nothing. Can we say safely that a kind of a self-absorption is also saying a goodbye to the false I consciously? In the beginning, we think consciously, conscious thinking, or you can say contemplation and reflection in line with the Eastern wisdom. And now we have reached to a step. I have already known you are Daniel, so do I need to think? No. So even if I stop thinking, I continue to know you. You are Dennis. So how simple it is. Oh, self-absorption. Ah, roll of the false eye gone. Now what is this? What is this state? I'm just giving you a wow moment. What is this? I continue to exist. There is a feeling, there is a knowledge. And that is our existence. That is the real self. And that existence is conscious also. So consciousness, happiness, it is happiness also. It is here and now. Like the water in the waves. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. Beautiful. How are you, Dennis?
Deep and very steady meditation. The breathing helped the mind to stabilize, to move deeply inside, and then there was a vast dark space full of peace and calmness and joy. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes. Yes. When you say that the breathing helps you to gather the mind, that scattered is our false eye. I have to be very mindful and alert and attentive. And once we become attentive of that, you will see what is that conscious thinking, lack of thinking. But behind that, all those steps have to be understood simultaneously. Yes, Stephen, how are you?
Good, sir. Thank you again. I found myself to be fully absorbed into the peace and calmness of this space. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes. And how are you, David?
Thank you. Meditation was very good. I found myself early on a couple of times where I wasn't performing my conscious thinking, and I identified that and quickly got back into it. And by the end of it, by the time you started chanting at the end, I was actually startled because I was so deep. So thank you.
Yes. Yes. Now you see that we all have to recognize, realize the power of conscious thinking in line with the principles of Eastern wisdom. Because if you are doing a conscious thinking in line with the modern psychology, then you have to go to Christina. You have not to come to me. So, because and then what happens from one disorder to the second disorder to the third or amplification, we are caught into that. It is not a criticism. It is the sciences, modern psychology has yet to progress to that state. How are you, Christina? And I'll take to some areas.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with that. A deep meditative state today. It felt like that sense of coming home to my real home, the real I.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. That is good. You know, those experiences have to be repeated in our mind again and again. Why? Conscious thinking becomes a normal process. How are you, Samir?
Sir, sometimes it happens that if someone tells something wrong, I feel like he or she is telling something wrong to someone else, or they are telling to my ego, not to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes
That also demands a conscious thinking. Conscious thinking, oh, you are crazy. Yes. Okay, he's talking to someone else. Continue, go ahead. You think mentally, you think emotionally. Ah, he's saying to someone else. Yes, continue. What else you have to say? You consciously think like this. When you consciously think like this, then you are not affected. Otherwise, false I has repeated this kind of a projection, feeling bad in reaction millions of times. So it will follow that route. Why it will follow that route? That is the vasana and the past impressions. The value is already set by default, window by default. Window by default. Dennis, I'm using the right phrase here to explain. Window by default. It will open by default if I do not intervene by conscious thinking, and then it causes the problem. Now, after learning so much, we know how simple it is. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. Sir, my today's experience is like when I was doing the practice, I feel like I was separated from the mind. And then I'm saying to the mind that, why are you running? Like, be calm and don't run. And mind get peaceful, but mind doesn't have a habit to live like that. So it start bringing the past experiences. It drop the current experiences, but it start bringing the past experiences. And then also I said to mind that it's just a play of mind. Just be calm.
Yes, we have to employ these means consciously. Oh, then it went into the past. Whose past? Not my past, your past. So if it is your past, the identification is there. So false I is already there. You do not go to the past of others. See, conscious, that is what our masters are saying. So you can live into that state of mindfulness all the time. Anyone left? Yes, Ashok left. Oh, after
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Thank you so much. And sir, जब when I am not conscious, तो problem बढ़ती हैं. I mean problem increases.
Yes.
So,
Find out
so
how many in a year, how many hours in a day, how many minutes in an hour you are conscious or you are unconscious. That is the solution.
that's the solution. Correct.
That is all for today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Namaste,
Thank you, sir.
everyone.
Thank you.
Namaste, everyone.